Hello everyone, this is your girl Rita, also known as the Gold Digger. Hello to all of my fellow gold diggers out there. Typically, I will come to you each month and share with you my goals for the month, and I promise you I am going to do that. I'm also going to do a video sharing with you my goals for the year. I know 2021 has started off at a slow start, but I am back and I am at it. But today, I wanted to talk to you about how you, or try to help you in planning out your budget. So, just a quick little background. Like, I have a budget that I use for myself for all of my spending, and to help me stay on top of my budget, I usually use a cash envelope system so that I don't overspend. So many of you may have different financial goals to get on track this year for 2021. We've been hit in all kinds of different ways with this pandemic. Financially, people have lost their jobs, might have had reduced hours, had to work from home. Different situations and different challenges are being presented, and maybe you haven't done a budget before or previously, or even really had to worry too much about your finances. So I want to help you today and give you some tips on how I go about setting my budget, my monthly budget, so that hopefully it will help you and help you to be able to do the same and keep better track of your finances. So let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and jump into it. All right, so how do you go about planning a budget? First, you just need to look at what is coming in and what is coming out of your bank account, or what is coming out of your household. Some people recommend that you write down everything that you've been spending your money on. And when I was doing the no spend challenges on last year, I told you that could be helpful to write down some of the things that you are spending your money on. But also, you don't necessarily have to do that. It's probably eye-opening though if you actually do. But you really need to know what you are actually bringing in and the amount of money that is going out, because you might be surprised even with those numbers at what you find. So first off, know what's coming in and know what's going out. And if it's helpful for you to write down all of your expenditures for a week, a couple of weeks, a month, that kind of thing, just so you can actually see what you're spending money on. Because you might think that you're only spending, I don't know, $300 on groceries, and come to find out it's like $500. So know what's coming in and know what's coming out, and that will help you with your budget. And we're going to jump into how you can do that. So you want to look at your paydays. So previously I have had inconsistent income, so I didn't know how much I was getting from week to week, because it was just kind of based off of what I was able to generate, a percentage of what my business generated. Now your girl is on the payroll, and so I'm getting consistent income at consistent times. So I'm going to see how this goes, because now I have like regular paydays and I might have to change up my budget a little bit. But definitely look at when your paydays are, so that you can know, okay, I have this amount of money coming in on this day, this amount of money coming in on that day, so that you can budget accordingly. Now, for those of you who had inconsistent income like I had previously, what you want to do is just take an average of what you are bringing in a week or a month, or however it is that the income is coming in, so that you can have an idea. And when I was having the inconsistent income, I based it off of like a base amount. Like, I expect to get at least $2,000 a month or whatever. So then I budgeted around that, like just the flat 2,000. Now, be realistic about it. If you already know you get about $3,000 a month, that should be coming in. Don't say it's 2,000 or whatever. If you know consistently it's 3,000, budget around that. Because what happened too is, for me having the inconsistent income, for those times where I did have more money coming in, I already knew what it was going to be allocated for. So if any extra money came in, it had a home, it had a place. So it wasn't like, oh, this is extra spending money for me because I made an extra 200 or extra 500 or whatever it is. It was like, okay, if it's over this amount, we are going to allocate this extra for this specific thing. So for those of you who have inconsistent income, find out what your base amount it is that you are bringing in, and also your base amount of expenses, and anything extra you want to go ahead and put a name on it and give that extra money a place for it to go as well. All right, now also, once you know when your paydays are, you want to look at things at the top of the month that might be happening. All right, we are in the month of February, so you want to take things into consideration, like the Super Bowl. Are you having a Super Bowl party? Are you spending extra money on the Super Bowl? Are you going somewhere to watch the Super Bowl where you might be spending money on food? Are you going to a party where you need to bring food? That kind of thing. So take those things into consideration. See what kind of special activities are happening at the beginning of a particular month or occurring that month, so that you can budget for those things. So there's like the Super Bowl, there is Valentine's Day coming up, and also take into consideration, like in our family we have several birthdays, so any birthdays or other special holidays that are happening in that month, you want to account for, because if you need to get a gift, if you're traveling out of town to celebrate with someone, you want to make sure you include that in your budget, so that you are not spending your bill money on something that is not every month expense. Okay, so look at those things at the beginning or before the beginning of the month comes in, so you are not caught off guard or not taken by surprise and you're like, oh darn, I was supposed to get cupcakes for the kids Valentine's Day party, or we were supposed to give out Valentine's Day gifts or something like that, or the kids need to get something for their teacher. Take all that into consideration at the beginning of the month so that you could add it to your budget, or you be like, oh, we don't have a budget for it, and you just know that you're not going to spend money on it, and you explain to your child or to whomever, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this, hey, I'm not going to be able to attend your birthday party or your event or this Super Bowl outing because it's, you know, it's not in my budget for me to do so. So look at that stuff at the beginning of the month. Now also, you want to look at your monthly bills. These are your everything that is coming out, like your mortgage or rent, electric, gas, water, all that kind of stuff. Look at your monthly bills and get an average, because I know like the rent, it doesn't change per month, but the other things might change, like your water or your electric and your heat and stuff like that. But you want to have an average of what it is, or the highest amount that it shouldn't go over. So if you know your electric bill, the highest it's ever been is $300, you want to budget for that, because you know it's going to come out each month for you. Okay. Also, look at other reoccurring expenses that aren't quite bills, but you are having to pay for them on a weekly basis or semi-weekly basis or monthly basis. Those are like your gas, your groceries, like your personal care things, like if you get your hair done, your nails done, that kind of stuff. Look at those, because they're not quote unquote bills. No one's going to send you a notice saying, hey, you need to pay these, but you know you're going to have to get it done, and you know you're doing it on a regular basis. So even with that, you want to set a budget for that. And that's why, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, writing down what you're spending money on could be helpful for you to see, oh, wow, I'm spending $500 on groceries and it's only 2 people or something like that, and you might be like, hey, we can definitely cut it down to 400 or 300 or something like that, because that is basically what the budget is going to allow you to do. Once you set it and you go grocery shopping, you know, hey, I can't go over this because it's not in the budget. If I spend this amount of money on groceries, we're not going to have any groceries that's going enough groceries to last us to the end of the month because I've spent the money. So look at those recurring expenses that are not quote unquote bills, but they do happen on a regular basis. Now, other bills that you want to look at are those irregular bills that come in. Those are like your car insurance. Like for us, we pay our car insurance every 6 months. Our HOA fees are about to come up for our community. That is done annually, like car taxes annually. If you pay for lawn care or pet services, some of those are like quarterly things. So you want to look at those bills that are not monthly reoccurrences, but they do happen like either quarterly or annually or semi-annually, that kind of thing, so that they don't catch you off guard and that you don't have to dip into a savings account or an emergency fund for them, because technically they are not an emergency. You knew they were coming, you just forgot that they were coming. Okay, so it's not an emergency, but you want to budget for that. And typically what I do for those expenses that are not happening on a regular monthly basis is, like, say if we pay for something every quarter, I don't know, say it's, I'm gonna make it easy, say it's something we have to pay $60 for pest control every quarter. So that's 3 months. So pretty much what I would do is I would put it in my budget and I would set aside $20 each month, so that when it's time for us to pay it quarterly, I already have set the $60 aside, but I've done it on a monthly basis so that it's not hitting me at one time, so to speak. So any quarterly, semi-annually, anything that's not regular, you still want to budget for it and put it in your monthly budget, but you're just breaking it down over however often it's paid. So if your car insurance is, I don't know, $600 every 6 months, what you would budget for is $100 each month, so that you're not having to reach for a big chunk of that $600 when it is time for you to pay for it, because you've already been saving it month by month. All right. Last thing you should look at is just look at some irregular expenses that you might encounter from time to time. These are things like field trips for the kids, like I said, buying gifts for like a birthday, wedding, graduation, baby shower, clothing, like your kids might need some shoes, or they might need a seasonal stuff is big, like they might need a new coat, they might need a swimsuit, you might need a swimsuit, you might need to update your shoes or something like that, they need some boots instead because now it's winter. So these are expenses that are irregular expenses, but you want to take it into account so that when they do happen, you'll have the money for that. So like for in my case, I do have a separate envelope, because like I said, I use the envelope system for my kids for that kind of spending, but you might even want to create like a miscellaneous line item in your budget for those little expenses that do come up. And going back to what I said before, writing down these little different things that you're spending money on can help you see like how much do I actually need to budget for those things. Now, one of the reasons I use the cash envelope system is because if the money is in my envelope, I have the money to spend. If the money is not in my envelope, guess what? I don't spend any money on it. So it helps me to be accountable. I have an envelope for me to have, I call it's like fun money or whatever. I can pretty much spend whatever I want on that kind of stuff. So I do account for that, and I would encourage you to have a line item for fun stuff, because I don't want it to be so strict and regimented that you feel like you are just confined by the budget. So make sure you budget for fun stuff too. Also budget for like travel and vacation. I know these COVID chronicles, they have us locked on lockdown, but hopefully when we are able to travel again, you'll have your budget set aside and you can just go wherever you want. And who knows, with all of us having to stay home or whatever, you can have a whole bunch of money saved up for a vacation or travel, so you're not having to pull it out of your regular account or regular income or your regular bill money. All right, so those are some tips to help you be able to budget and to do better or do improve in the new year in 2021. Let me know if these tips are helpful. Let me know if you already are using a budget. Let me know if you use the cash envelope system, or if there's any tips or tricks that I might have missed that you find that are super duper helpful for you, or that you cannot live without if you don't do it this way. Let me know. I'm interested in hearing, because I'm always interested in trying to improve and make myself better and improve upon my budget. Okay. All right, that's all I have for now. This is your girl Rita, also known as the Gold Digger. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video so you can see more great content from me. All right, take care.